Morning, Brian from Debdencycle here with Gareth at Chapel Brampton, just north of Northampton. We're doing a 30-mile cycle today along the old railway line that ran from Market Harborough to Northampton. We'll be showing you what sort of terrain you'll encounter, so you'll know whether you need a mountain bike or a road bike, and we'll also be going through the battlefield of Naseby. Some lovely country lanes around there, really quiet and obviously historic as well. So there we are at the halt, and the railway is just over the other side of the building, so let's crack on. We've got a lot to see today. 3.3 miles in, you come under a road bridge and then straight up the path just after it, up to the road and across, and then you're off onto the road section of the ride, and we'll be coming back down here later on our way home. But yeah, this mud here, don't worry about this mud. This is the first mud we've seen, and I've done this ride before. It's the only mud you'll see, apart from when you go through the tunnels. It is a little bit wet there. Okay so far, Gareth?
Fine, I like it. It's good. Nice and warm. That's a change. It's probably freezing cold, isn't it?
He's not warm, he's joking. Okay.
It's warm.
Okay, so on we go, over the road bridge. Okay, so it's about 6.5 miles in, and this is what you get with one of our rides. Absolutely fabulous countryside and quiet lanes, which if you've been on the Debdencycle that we're doing in September, you'll know that's what you get there as well. Quite a few of these little roads aren't signposted, they're just turnings. So if you do want to get the route, you will need to go to debdencycle.co.uk and go to the sat-nav routes page, which will have a GPX link there to my Strava page. And hopefully it's not drizzling with rain when you come, because it is today. I can imagine that view is something special on a nice sunny day. So that's us just coming into Naseby, 8 miles, and that's the first of your 2 hills on this ride, 2 significant hills. The other one's a little bit further on, and Gareth was swearing as we came up the hill there, but it's a painful hill. Painful.
But it's bearable.
Painful but bearable. He's just about got his breath back. It is pretty steep, and I'll do some more chat about the hill at Naseby and its significance historically a little bit later on. But fabulous views, and hopefully it'll be a nicer day when you're here. .8 miles in, and we've arrived at the Cromwell Memorial to the Battle of Naseby, 1645. The hill at Naseby was deemed to be too strong. The position was too strong, it's too steep. The Royalists would never attack. So Cromwell set his troops up here, and you can see there's a nice bowl to the land here, and in the distance up by the farm, if you can see it there, that's where the Royalists were. Now, if Australians or Americans tell you we've got a lot of history here, we really have. At the time this battle took place, Australia hadn't been colonised by Europeans yet. That didn't happen for another 100 years, and the total European population of America was under 50,000. The Pilgrims had only arrived 25 years earlier. Anyway, the Battle of Naseby in 1 minute. 1 minute flat. Start a stopwatch. I'll never do it in a minute. Cromwell set up with his troops over here, and Fairfax was on the other flank over here. They drew the Royalists into a battle. It was very foggy that day, so when the Royalists did advance down across the fields, they only managed to get 1 musket shot off at each other before it was into hand-to-hand fighting. But prior to that happening, the Royalists charged with their cavalry, which was their preferred method of attack. They came down the hill there, and Cromwell held them. Over on this side though, Fairfax's troops did not hold, and they were run off the field. Now just over the hill in that direction is where the baggage train, where all the parliamentarians' loot and all the good stuff was. When the Royalist cavalry got there, they just filled their boots, and whoever didn't stop to fill their boots carried on chasing the parliamentarian troops down towards Northampton. By the time they returned to the field of battle, it was a done job. The parliamentarians it was done. We counted down. The parliamentarians had done it. The Royalists took to the field of battle with 8,000 to 9,000 troops, and 6,000 were left dead. So it was pretty bloody back then. And that's it. A minute. Done. On we go. We'll follow the routes of the retreating Royalists going north as they were fleeing towards Leicester, which was a power base for them. We go just past a little place called Market Harborough, where there was an atrocity there. Parliamentarians fell upon 100 or so retreating royalists who'd taken shelter in the churchyard there and just slaughtered them. So, yeah. But be thankful you live in the world we live in today. And I wish I'd taken Jude's advice at Jack's in Saffron Walden and got myself a waterproof. He'd do a great line of clothing there. And I wish I'd got some, because it's drizzly today. 18.1 miles, and we've made it to Market Harborough. Just having rejoined the railway line, which is all cindery. Doesn't stay like that. There are a couple of miles where it's a little bit rocky, but not terrible. We're doing it with no suspension at all. Front suspension would probably be ideal, but we'll tell you further towards the end. Now, Market Harborough. What can we tell you about Market Harborough?
Very pretty place.
I've looked it up. Very pretty place.
Very pretty.
Looked it up on the internet. It was famous for its sheep market.
Really?
And it once had a stream running down the high street.
I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Can't believe it.
Other than that, famous people. Market Harborough.
Yeah.
Martin Johnson, rugby player. He came from Market Harborough. And coming from Market Harborough. There's the clue. You go from Market Harborough.
You do actually.
And now
Probably far better.
Gareth doesn't know this bit, but somebody else very famous came from Market Harborough.
And who could that be?
Jeremy Bullock.
Who the hell is he?
Boba Fett. In the original Star Wars film,
Really?
Boba Fett, the bounty hunter, Jeremy Bullock, was born in Market Harborough. And that tells you everything you need to know about Market Harborough, because he went to a galaxy far, far away from Market Harborough.
Very good.
So, anyway, down the railway line, away we go. 2 tunnels coming up. Well, it's the day after the Market Harborough ride, and it's beautiful sunshine. Yesterday the rain really did start to give us some problems with the camera, which packed up for a short time, which means we only have film of the tunnel like this. And inside the tunnel like this. We have a still photograph which shows you the entrance to the tunnels, but all I can really say is the track is just as good inside the tunnel as it is out, but it's dark. Do not think you can wing it and not have a torch. You need a torch. One's just over 400 metres long, one's just under 300 metres long, if my memory serves me right. So we did manage to fix the camera a little bit later on, and we pick up the ride with the rain dropping even harder in the last few miles of the ride back to the halt. So here we go. Into the last 2 miles, and it seems like there's no end. Cold, damp, in that zone where you just one pedal in front of the other. You just want to get to the end. Some warm food. Now Gareth is still there, just about. This is a miserable day. A lovely ride, but a miserable day. It's very exposed in some areas, out the road and on the railway. So do bear that in mind when you're coming along. Quite windy. So, yeah. I can imagine this will look really, really beautiful in the summer, but not today. So I made it back to the halts. That's 30 miles, 15 miles on country lanes, really quiet country lanes, and 15 miles on the railway. You don't really need a suspension bike. Ideally, you could have a suspension bike with smooth tyres. But, you know, if you went for the full mountain bike, that's going to be a real drag on the roads. So just a standard bike is fine, really. But back at the halts, I mean, it's an enormous pub. They've got a great menu. Do everything from sandwiches, fish and chips, burgers, right up the steaks. Joe, what's your opening hours for food?
12 till 9:30 Monday to Saturday, and then on Sunday 12 till 9. All day.
Yep.
All day, every day.
Fabulous, fabulous. So basically they're open during the day. They don't close for the afternoons like some little village pubs. And the food, we can highly recommend that. We just had fish and chips, and it was spot on, wasn't it?
It was absolutely wonderful. Really nice.
Really good.
Very well worth doing. Fish and chips is excellent.
So just give Joe a ring beforehand, or one of his other managers here, just to let them know that you're leaving the car in the car park, and obviously don't take the mickey, come in, spend a little bit of money when you get back. And we'll see you next time at Debdencycle for our next cycle ride. All right.